Today I'm flying to New York City on the world's longest non-stop flight in business class. Nearly 19 hours in the air from Singapore to New York without a single stop. And in this video I will take you all along for the journey. Ever since I was a kid I have dreamed of going to New York. So this is a journey I have been excited about for a very long time. The problem is I am not even in Singapore yet. I'm starting in Jakarta, Indonesia. So first I need to fly to Singapore, which means my total travel time will be nearly 24 hours. What I didn't know yet, it's gonna be way longer than that. Bad news. Oh my god. This changes the whole plan. We're not flying to New York anymore. And honestly, I am a bit worried. Will I be able to sleep? I really do not want to arrive completely exhausted. And what do you even do for so many hours stuck inside a plane? So, what is it really like to take the world's longest flight? And will this turn into the most exhausting journey of my life? Join me and let's find out. Okay, and here we are inside the Jakarta airport. And yeah, both flights today are going to be with Singapore Airlines in business class. One of the best airlines in the world. And also their business class is known to be one of the best. So I'm actually quite looking forward to both flights. But I'm not really looking forward to spend 19 hours on the second flight. But first, let's actually make it to Singapore. So my flight leaves in about 1 hour, a bit over 1 hour actually. So for once, I am here, not really in a rush. But you know, the first thing you always do when you're inside the terminal, check if your gate actually exists. Please let me know in the comments if I'm the only one who does this. I always have to check if my gate is actually there and if the flight is actually displayed there, and then I can go get food or do something else. Okay, here we are, gate 7, Singapore Airlines. Yes, everything all right. So now I feel I can explore the airport. I know the flight is here, it's on time, everything all right. Okay, and flying business class of course comes with the perk of being able to use the lounge. So let's have a look at the lounge here in Jakarta. Okay, the lounge here is pretty full and pretty busy, so I don't want to film too much here actually. But it is quite a large lounge, and there's a big buffet here. Hot food, cold food, desserts, all types of drinks available. So definitely a nice spot to hang out for a while. And yeah, I have about 30 minutes now until the boarding starts. And yeah, as long as the first flight is going to be on time, which it is at the moment, it's not going to be stressful later to connect to the second flight. But in case the first flight does get delayed, then there might be some troubles. But so far there are no delays, so let's hope it's going to stay like that. And yeah, I tried to film the main Singapore Airlines business class lounge in Singapore later in the video as well. So let's see how the two lounges compare to each other. Alright, and it is time to board. And yeah, the sun is setting already here in Jakarta. And in exactly 24 hours I'm going to arrive in New York. So the 24-hour journey starts right now. And yeah, the first plane I think is a A350. So not a huge plane, but also not a small one. And touching the plane for good luck as usual. Alright, seat 22A is what I'm looking for. Alright, so this is the seat that I have here. Actually a very large seat. So there's a little place here to store some things. There's water already here. There are headphones in here. The table is right here. Then we can charge our phones here. There's a light here. More storage space. We have the control for the TV, and the TV is actually huge. I think this is the biggest TV I ever saw on the plane, and it's also not far away from me. And yeah, the configuration here is 1-2-1. To be honest, I was not expecting that the first flight will have a business class of this size, because the first flight is less than 2 hours, and usually the sizes of business classes on these short flights is very small. It's more like a premium economy usually. So this is already the first surprise of the day, that the Singapore Airlines business class, even on a flight of less than 2 hours, is quite large and very comfortable. And honestly, this is the largest seat I ever had inside an airplane. Amazing. I'm actually curious if the business class on the second flight, which is the way longer flight, will be even bigger than this. We're gonna see that later, of course. But yeah, I'm actually not going to review this flight in too much detail, because the focus is on the second flight, the world's longest flight, Singapore to New York. But first, let's actually make it to Singapore. Okay, so we left Jakarta quite exactly on time, and flying time is even shorter than I was expecting, only 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm actually not worried anymore to miss the second flight. Everything is gonna be alright. And yeah, we also just got served the meal. I could choose between 3 different main courses, and I chose the chicken breast, and there was a salad on the side and also a cake. And yeah, I really enjoyed that meal. It was pretty delicious. And what I can also say so far is that this is my first time flying with Singapore Airlines in business class, and the staff is also very nice so far. Very attentive and always trying to make sure that I have everything I need. So my first impression of the whole experience, Singapore Airlines business class, is really good. But yeah, of course, I'm going to give you a final review at the end of the video. And yeah, now it's less than 1 hour left to Singapore. So the first flight was a good one so far. And now I'm already getting very excited for the second flight, the world's longest flight, Singapore to New York.
We're currently still at cruising altitude of 40,000 feet.
about 1.5 hours now until the boarding of the next flight starts. And I think I am at the right terminal. Yes, Terminal 3, so I don't have to change to another terminal, which is really good. Do you remember my previous video in which I was in the Philippines together with my girlfriend Lisa? Actually, after the last video, when we flew back to Jakarta, we also flew via Singapore. And it was very chaotic and stressful here to get our connecting flight. And we barely made it, almost missed it, and we also had to change terminals, so that was very stressful a few days ago here. So I'm happy that this time I'm at the right terminal already. And yeah, Singapore Airport, one of the best airports in the world. Looks very nice here also. It's actually very quiet. I don't know if you can hear it, or you can't hear much, that's the point, right? Very quiet, looks very modern, it's very well organized. So actually let me check which gate I have to go. I'm confused because there are no times on the screen, only the flight numbers. Okay, my gate is A15, which I think, no, only until 8 here, so 15 should be over there. Oh, I actually do have to take the SkyTrain to A15 and A21. Okay, let's do that. Alright, here we go. I'm actually surprised that I have to take the train, even though I'm not changing the terminal. So it seems like Terminal 3 here in Singapore is so large that you have to take a train to get to certain gates. Okay, and that was literally a ride of like 2 minutes, and here we are now, gate A15 to A21, and I need to go to gate number 15, which is right here. Okay, you know what I did earlier in Jakarta? I have to do the same here now, just making sure that my gate actually does exist and that I can see the right flight number on there, which is not the case. So I guess there's a flight to Shenzhen departing in... I think right now it just departed actually. So I guess it's gonna switch to my flight being on the board shortly after then. But yeah, let me find the lounge now. So I was hoping to have access to like the main Singapore Airlines lounge here. Let's see if I can find that one. We do have a map here. So Terminal 3, Terminal 1, Terminal 2 and Terminal 4. And I am here now. Gate A14, so 15 right here. So I think I don't see any lounges on here. Maybe this is the lounge here, but it takes 9 minutes to walk over there. Actually, I have the legend here. So lounge, yes, in the middle of the terminal. So 9 minutes in that direction. Do you know how I feel now? Like one side in me is slowly getting tired. It's evening time now, but the other part in me is so excited to go to New York. This trip has been a childhood dream for me, ever since I was a little boy. I don't know why, but New York always fascinated me, and I always dreamt of visiting New York City one day. So I'm feeling super excited that today is finally the day that I'm going to make this dream come true. So I'm feeling super excited, and yeah, I know the next flight is going to be a very long flight, literally the longest flight in the world, 19 hours. And I am a bit worried about if I'm really gonna make it through that flight, if it's gonna be comfortable, not exhausting, not tiring. But you know, in the end, I think it doesn't matter because I'm feeling so excited to go to New York City. And I remember watching so many movies as a child that play in New York. The first movie that comes to mind is Home Alone 2. I'm sure many of you know that movie. And yeah, in the next days, I'm probably going to visit some places that you can see in the movie. And also one of my favorite series is How I Met Your Mother, plays in New York City. So I'm sure there are gonna be so many places that I'm recognizing from scenes I have seen before in TV. To be honest, I feel like I'm walking back to where I'm just coming from, because the train literally goes by here and I'm walking back in the same direction. That doesn't really make sense, right? Maybe I could have walked to the terminal as well. No need to take the train? I don't know. Okay, that was literally so stupid of me. I can't believe it. I'm literally back at the train station, SkyTrain to A15 and 21. Are you kidding me? How did I not notice that? Absolutely no need to take the train. Okay, maybe I'm already getting tired. My brain can't function properly anymore. So I'm literally back here. But then the question is, where's the lounge? Maybe let me ask. Excuse me?
Hi, yes sir.
Do you know where's the lounge?
Lounge just upstairs.
How do I go upstairs?
You can find a lift on your...
There's a lift over there?
Straight ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, apparently there's a lift to the lounge. Here we have a sign. Lounges. Okay, finally. Alright, and I am at the Silver Quiz Lounge now, which I think is the main lounge for Singapore Airlines. Hi.
There will be no boarding announcement in the lounge.
No boarding announcement?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the main lounge for Singapore Airlines?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. But there's a different one for first class as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, I have to speak quiet now. It's pretty busy here. I think this is the largest lounge I have ever seen in my life. I haven't been to many airport lounges in my life yet, but this is by far the biggest one. There are 2 big rooms here. Each room has a bar and has a buffet where you can get hot meals, freshly prepared food, snacks, desserts, drinks, everything available here. But it is also the busiest lounge I have ever seen. It was really difficult for me to even find an empty seat. And as you can see, I'm having only like a small table and chair right here because all the proper tables and very comfortable looking big chairs are all taken here. So for some reason this lounge is at the moment super busy. But yeah, it's a very quiet atmosphere here. That's also why I'm basically whispering into my microphone. Don't want to disturb anyone here. And what's interesting here is that there are no boarding announcements. In my experiences, usually inside lounges you have boarding announcements, but maybe they don't want to disturb the peaceful atmosphere here, I don't know. So you actually have to go look to the screens yourself if you want to stay up to date to your boarding announcements. But yeah, since I literally just had dinner on the plane, I'm actually not going to eat here now, but I have to say the food here does look really good. And yeah, these airport lounges are really nice to have extra on your ticket when you have like a long layover. For example, if I would spend now 4 or 5 hours here now, maybe also because of a delayed flight, then this lounge would be way more comfortable to spend your waiting time compared to the regular gate. And then you can also make use of all the free buffet food, all the free drinks here. Okay, actually they also provide toothbrush and toothpaste in the bathroom. So I basically just got ready for bed, brushed my teeth, and overall the bathroom was actually pretty nice. They also have like fancy Japanese toilets there. Very cool. Overall that was a pretty good lounge experience here in Singapore. And now it is time for me to go back to gate A15. I actually think that this time I'm gonna walk instead of taking the train, because yeah, it wasn't that far actually. Okay, I'm back at my gate A15 and now New York is on the screen.
We will have to stop in Los Angeles to refuel, and after which then proceed to Newark.
Okay, bad news. Oh my god, this changes the whole plan. We're not flying to New York anymore. We're flying to Los Angeles all of a sudden. There has just been an announcement. I couldn't really understand the reason on the speakers, but for some reason we have to fly to Los Angeles first, make a stop there, and then, I think I understood it correctly, and then we're continuing to New York. That makes the flight even longer. I don't know how long we're gonna stop in Los Angeles, but then we're gonna fly from Los Angeles to New York, hopefully. And we're already delayed, by the way. This is already the time where we were supposed to take off. What is happening? Oh my god. Okay, but at least we are boarding now with like 10 minutes delay. So by the time we're gonna be in the air, it's gonna be probably like an hour delay. And touching the plane for good luck as usual. Alright, let's have a look how the business class looks here. So we do actually have the same configuration as in the previous flight. So we have a 1-2-1 configuration here. Okay, and do you notice something? I think it is the exact same seat as in the previous flight. It looks exactly the same. But this time I have some slippers here, some socks and a sleeping mask. And yeah, what I didn't show you on the previous flight, or what I actually didn't do on the previous flight, you can turn the seat into a complete flat bed, which I will do right after takeoff probably. Okay, an update about what happened. So apparently there's a volcano eruption somewhere in Russia, and because of that eruption we have to fly a different route, and that route is longer and requires a stop in between to refuel the plane. So that's why we are going to Los Angeles, and then yeah, the crew said we're only going to refuel, maybe we don't even have to leave the plane, and then we continue to New York. But I just checked online, so the flying time from Singapore to Los Angeles is about 16 hours, and then from Los Angeles to New York is about 5.5 hours. So that means the total travel time will be 21 to 22 hours, plus the time for the stop in Los Angeles. So I'm guessing in the end it's gonna come down to like 23, 24 hours. And keep in mind, I already had a flight from Jakarta to here, so yeah, this is gonna be a long travel day for me. And yeah, here we have the news, a volcano eruption in Russia. Russian volcano erupts for the first time in more than 500 years. So I don't have any more information now. I just hope that no people got hurt. So actually there was an earthquake and a tsunami warning. Okay, I really hope nothing really bad happened there. But yeah, that's the reason why we have to fly to Los Angeles first. Oh man, this is gonna be a journey. And yeah, I showed you the seat already in the previous flight, so this is yeah exactly the same. I didn't show you these buttons before, but here you can adjust the seat here as you like it. You can call the staff. There's a do not disturb sign. There are plenty of lights here to switch on as well. Oh, a lot of light actually. And yeah, there's also a very large and comfortable pillow. And yeah, here we have the bed sheet and the blanket, which I'm gonna use right after takeoff. Okay, and we have left with about 1 hour delay now, but honestly that doesn't matter anymore to me. And yeah, the crew just helped me to turn my seat into a bed. I now have a flat bed here, And actually, yeah, it is a bit weird that you have to lie sideways and not straight, but still, that's totally okay for me. And I have to say, for being inside an airplane, this is actually quite comfortable. And yeah, as I said earlier, the seat is quite large, so that also is quite large actually now. So my plan is now to get a regular night sleep. I'm hoping to get 7-8 hours sleep. So then by the time I wake up, yeah, actually we will still have about 10 hours left then to Los Angeles, like 8, 9, 10 hours. But hopefully I'm gonna be well rested then for the rest of the journey to New York. And yeah, the local time is now 1 a.m. in the morning. So in Jakarta, where I started, it's 12 a.m., which is already past my regular bedtime. So I'm actually quite tired. So good night, and I will tell you later how the sleep here was. And good morning. I slept for about 8 hours. Well, on and off sleep, not really 8 hours straight. Actually, let's see what's going on outside. Oh, have a look at this. We are somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, and I can see time to Los Angeles is almost 7 hours left. And yeah, how was the bed here? Let me get ready and then I will give you a review. Okay, and here I am. I feel fresh now. I just freshened myself up in the bathroom. And yeah, I don't want to complain because I know it's an absolute privilege to have a bed inside a plane, but I know that some of you want an honest review, and it wasn't really comfortable. I woke up several times. Actually, I also dreamt very bad. I had some very weird bad dreams, but nevertheless, I'm very happy that I got a decent amount of sleep because this day is gonna be very long for me. So it's about 7.5 hours left until Los Angeles. Then I don't know how long we're actually gonna stay there, and then it's another 5 hours, I think, to New York. And the scheduled arrival time in New York is 10:30 a.m. And then I have to get from the airport to Manhattan to my hotel, and then I don't want to fall asleep immediately, so I will try to stay awake until the evening so I get a normal sleep rhythm. So it's going to be a very long day for me from now on. So I'm happy that I got some sleep on the flight here. And yeah, we're just cruising by near Hawaii actually, so still in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And the crew just asked me what I would like to eat for breakfast. Several different options, but I choose just to get some fruits because at the moment I don't feel like eating something heavy, so some light fruits, that's actually quite nice for the morning now. And one more addition to the sleep situation, I forgot to mention that my height is 1.90 m, or for my American viewers 6'2", and I could lay down completely flat, but that was kind of the limit. So if you are taller than me, then you maybe can't completely lie down flat here, but if you are shorter than me, then absolutely no problem. And yeah, by the way, later in the video I'm going to tell you also how much I paid for this whole trip and how I booked it. And yeah, this is what the bathroom looks like here in business class. Nothing too special, not too big, but what's unique I would say is that you can get shavers here or razors, shaving cream. They also provide you or can provide you with a toothbrush and toothpaste, and we do have soap here and the toilet. Other than that, a pretty regular bathroom for being inside an airplane. Okay, and yeah, so far I haven't had a proper meal on this flight yet. I think I'm still feeling full from the chicken meal I had on the previous flight. So I just had the fruits after I woke up. But I am feeling a bit hungry now, so I ordered some snacks. I ordered a passion fruit cakes and some biscuits and cookies. And yeah, the menu here on the flight is actually quite large and it looks very good. There's plenty of options like beef, chicken, soups, noodle dishes, everything you can imagine. So pretty big menu, and yeah, the good thing in business class is you can order food at any time. So whenever I do feel hungry, I could order anything I would like. But you know, I'm not feeling like having a proper meal, so just the cake and the cookies should be enough. And yeah, what's funny now, it's already dark again outside. So I think since I woke up, I only saw like 2-3 hours of daylight. So my inner body clock must be very confused. But so far, I'm handling the flight pretty well. I'm not feeling sleepy anymore. I spent my time mostly with watching videos that I downloaded to my phone before. And what's also pretty cool on this flight, and I think this is the first time in my life that I actually have working Wi-Fi on the plane. I've flown many flights before where they advertised that they have Wi-Fi, but so far for me it never really worked. But here it actually does work. It's not super fast, so I can't watch like YouTube videos with it, but it is good enough to like chat on WhatsApp or scroll on social media. So that is pretty cool to have. And you know, it's about 2.5 hours left to Los Angeles.
Starting our descent to Los Angeles in the next 3 to 4 minutes. I will estimate landing at 2:20 in the morning local time. Weather in Los Angeles is good, 19 degrees Celsius.
Okay, and we have arrived in Los Angeles. And yeah, luckily we are allowed to stay inside the plane. We don't have to leave the plane. I was a bit worried that we have to leave and then board again, you know. And yeah, the crew said it's gonna take about 1 hour to refuel the plane, and we actually also get a new crew and also new pilots. So they're switching the whole staff. And yeah, the length of the journey from Singapore to Los Angeles was now close to 17 hours already. Then adding 1 hour stop here and then another 5 hours to New York. So yeah, this journey is already 24 hours now. Now it's actually quite exactly 24 hours since I started filming this video, since I recorded the intro at the airport in Jakarta. So yeah, this is turning into a mega journey. So local time in Los Angeles here now is 3 a.m. The local time in New York is already 6 a.m. and we were actually scheduled to arrive at 6:30 a.m. in New York. So yeah, let's see at what time we will actually arrive there. That's actually pretty weird at the moment because yeah, the original crew left the airplane already and now there's no crew on the plane. People just walking around the whole plane everywhere. I mean, probably everyone is keen to stretch their legs a bit, but it is a bit weird to be on a plane without crew. Okay, and about 1.5 hours later and we are in the air again. The final leg of the journey finally starts. 5 hours now to New York. And yeah, I would like to give you 2 interesting facts about this flight. The first interesting fact is this flight does not have a regular economy class. There is only business class and premium economy available on this flight. I guess they just don't want people to sit for 19 hours straight in regular economy class. And it's also quite interesting that the business class here is very large. So it seems like there's a very high demand for business class seats on this route. And then the second fact is, so before I booked this flight, I was actually wondering if they are going to fly west from Singapore or east from Singapore. You can reach New York via both routes. So if you fly west and you fly via the Middle East, via Europe, via the Atlantic Ocean, or if you fly east and you are flying via the Pacific Ocean. And according to my research, sometimes they are choosing the western route, but most of the times, like today as well, they are flying the eastern route over the Pacific Ocean. And the total length of the journey is about 10,500 miles or about 17,000 kilometers. But of course today, because of the D route, the journey is much longer than that. Okay, and I also just had the first proper meal on this flight. Roasted chicken with truffle, and that was really, really delicious. And overall I can say all the food I had on this flight and also on the previous flight, the chicken on the Jakarta-Singapore flight, every food I had was really, really delicious. And I also like that the menu here is quite large. I can order snacks and cakes and chocolate cookies whenever I want to. So a great variety, a great offer for being inside a plane. And yeah, the sun is up again. We are somewhere over the United States at the moment. And yeah, in case you're wondering what I am doing the whole time, I'm basically just watching videos or listening to music. Before every flight I take, I always download a lot of videos so I can watch them offline also during the flight. The same goes for music. But yeah, in case you don't have your own movies or videos downloaded on your phone, you can also watch it, of course, here. One thing I noticed, this is not a touch screen, which surprises me a bit. So I actually have to use the remote here, but that works pretty good. So I can click on movies here, for example. Then here I am right now, and yeah, there are hundreds of options of the types of movies, so many things available. Actually, I'm just seeing that The Lion King, that used to be my favorite movie as a child. It's from 1994, and I remember that we had that as a video cassette when I was a child. Maybe I should watch the movie. Never seen it in a while. And you can also even watch live TV here, series, there's music here, so yeah, even if you don't have your own entertainment on your phone, plenty of options here. But yeah, to be honest, I feel it's starting to get a bit exhausting. I mean, I am sitting at this place over 20 hours already, and actually I just did the math in my head. In the end, I'm gonna be spending more than 24 hours in this seat. So when I boarded the plane in Singapore, it took about 1 hour until we actually left, then 17 hours to Los Angeles, then 1.5 hours in Los Angeles, and then another 5 to New York. In total, that's 24.5 hours that I'm going to spend right in this seat on this airplane That is actually incredible. And then keep in mind, I had another flight before this flight, Jakarta to Singapore. Wow, what a journey. But yeah, it's now, let me check, I think about 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours and 5 minutes left to New York City. Yeah, this is definitely going to be the longest flight of my life. And I'm curious, let me know in the comments, what is the longest flight you have ever been on? And how was that experience? I'm curious to read your experiences in the comments. Okay, and I changed into a fresh t-shirt, I washed my face, I put on a perfume, I feel very refreshed now, despite actually being very exhausted. But yeah, we are arriving in New York in about half an hour, and I really hope that the immigration process will be fast and easy now, no issues there, because the last thing I want after such a long journey is any more problems at immigration. So let me handle all of that, and then I give you my final review, including the price I paid for this. And the 24 and a half hours inside this plane are coming to an end. And we have arrived in New York City, USA. Let's see what the arrival process will be like here. Okay, honestly, it feels a bit weird to have solid ground under my feet again. But here we are, welcome. And what is really, really cool here, far in the distance, I can already see the skyline of Manhattan. And actually I saw it already while we landed here, and that is already such a cool moment. Seeing this world famous skyline for the first time with my own eyes. Wow. And here we are. Welcome to the United States. Yes, I made it into the country. Immigration process took about 45 minutes. And to be honest, I almost fell asleep while waiting in line there. And I don't know why, but out of all the countries I visited in the past years, the immigration process into the United States always takes the longest. It was already like that a few weeks ago when I was in Los Angeles. Anyway, here I am now. And yeah, actually I am not in New York yet. I am in New Jersey because I am at the Newark Airport, not the JFK Airport. So I have to travel from here now into Manhattan. Yeah, so how would I rate the overall experience and how much did I pay for this flight? First of all, the experience has been great. If I'm just rating the experience during the flight, not talking about the delay, I mean, it is now 31 hours after I started to film this video at the Jakarta Airport. And the local time here in New York is now almost 1 a.m. We were originally scheduled to arrive here at 6 a.m. So 6 to 7 hours total delay. But yeah, the experience in business class was really great. Great staff, great service. The seat was the most spacious seat I ever had inside the plane, very comfortable. The food has been great, and I also like the privacy of the seat, so you basically have your own little cabin there. Also plenty of space to store your things, that was also really great. And you know what? Usually I would be sad now, because technically I haven't been on the world's longest flight now, because the flight to LA was only 17 hours and not 19 hours straight to New York. But I'm actually going to take the exact same flight in a few weeks after my trip in the United States back to Singapore. So then I will be able to say I've flown the world's longest flight. So yeah, I'm staying in the US for a few weeks. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, to follow the journey here. And yeah, how much did I pay for this flight? So usually if you're looking at these flights straight from Singapore to New York in business class, you're looking at, for a return flight, $7,000–8,000 usually. That's not the price I paid. So what I did, I tracked the prices of the flight for more than 1 week. Several times per day I checked the prices. And it's actually quite surprising that the prices are changing literally several times every day. And then I played around with different journey length and different journey dates. So depending on which date you are flying and depending how long your journey is, so how many days until your return flight, the prices always keep changing. So I played around with different dates, different journey length, tracked the prices several times each day for more than a week until I found a price that I was happy with. And in total I paid for a return ticket $3,500, which I think is a really good price for what you get. Jakarta, Singapore, Singapore, New York, New York, Singapore, Singapore, Jakarta, all in business class, $3,500. Let me know in the comments if you think that is worth it. And yeah, I'm going to start my journey into Manhattan now. And then my goal for today is to visit the Times Square, one of the most famous places in the United States. But that is going to be in the next episode, and as soon as the next video is out, I will leave a link to it right here. Stay healthy, stay positive, and then see you in the next episode. Ciao guys.